He's America's toughest sheriff, making a national name for himself, chasing after undocumented immigrants. Only one problem. A federal judge finds that Maricopa County Sheriff Joe Arpaio hasn't been following the law. A scathing 142-page decision outlines systemic racial profiling of Latinos and orders the office to stop using Hispanic heritage in making law enforcement decisions. It is a stinging defeat for the sheriff and one his attorneys say they're going to appeal. Joining us now is MSNBC contributor Joy Reid, who's also managing editor of thegrio.com. Joy, a federal judge has now confirmed in writing that Sheriff Joe Arpaio is a racial profiler, an abuser of power who has subjected Latinos to unconstitutional arrests, detention and harassment. Given this has been going on for 30 years, why did it take the judiciary so long to arrive at that position?
That's a very good question, because Sheriff Arpaio, Joe Arpaio, has sort of prided himself on humiliating prisoners and on making people that he discerns to be illegal immigrants, you know, basically subhuman and treat them less than human. This has been going on for a long time, and it actually perversely made him famous rather than infamous for a long time. And I think compounded by SB 1070, which finally did get sort of the legal community going in Arizona, you're now seeing a focus on it. But what happened in Arizona is that this gentleman, this man, Mr. Arpaio, had his officers subjecting anyone he thought looked Hispanic to sort of an apartheid system, harassing them, making them show documents, and in a lot of cases jailing them. It's unbelievable that it went on for this long.
And let's not forget, Joy, that it wasn't long ago that Messrs. Mitt Romney, John McCain, Rick Perry and plenty of other Republicans were fighting over this man's endorsement, a man who is now exposed as a nasty racial profiler.
Yeah, absolutely. He was considered a political asset for the Republican Party. And you have to realize that the sort of context in which Joe Arpaio became a political asset to a lot of Republicans is this sort of fervor against immigrants, against illegal immigrants, that goes with an assumption, wrong, by a lot on the right, that anybody who's Hispanic is an illegal immigrant, that most Latinos in this country are here illegally, which is, of course, wrong, but it all goes together. It's this xenophobic attack on immigrants.
How does the Republican Party come to terms with an approach to immigration, given the role of people like him, who have been lauded by this party for decades? The last presidential election had them bowing at this man's feet, right. A man now condemned by the judge.
And therein lies the problem. I mean, this man was not vilified from within his party as, say, the guy from the Heritage Foundation was when it was discovered that he'd written these, horrible things in his Harvard dissertation.
Mr. Rich Wine.
Right, Rich Wine, right. Joe Arpaio was a celebrity within the party because he speaks, I think, for a lot of the base of the GOP, which says that you should treat people who are in this country undocumented as the lowest form of criminal, that anything you do to them is justifiable, and that you should seek them out among anybody who seems to be Hispanic. This is something that the Republican Party has to root out, not from the top down, as they've tried to do at the RNC, but from the bottom up. I don't know how you do it. 30-plus years of talk radio saying those immigrants, those people are taking away your stuff, they're taking welfare, they're just here to suck off of the teat of government. I don't know how you turn that around.
Wouldn't it be helpful?
Thing.
But, Joy, wouldn't it be helpful today, given the judgment on Friday, if Rick Perry or Mitt Romney or any of these individuals came out and said, we made a wrong judgment about this individual. He's clearly been racially profiling and abusing people and the Constitution, and we condemn him?
It would be very helpful. It is highly unlikely, because you still have a lot of guys that want to run in 2016, and they don't want to alienate the base of the party. Look, there's a lot of resistance to immigration reform still within the base of the party. If that can't get through easily, it's hard to imagine a full-throated, pushing away of Joe Arpaio. I find it hard to imagine, but it would be a pleasant surprise if it did.
It would indeed. The Grio's Joy Reid. Thank you so much, Joy.